Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Table Spot. My name is Metal Mike, and I'm joined here, as always, with the man with the best beer in the business. He's the host of The Boom every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. My co-host here every Monday night after Monday Night Raw, Mr. Cam G. Cam, how you doing on this wonderful Memorial Day Monday evening?
Yeah, exhausted. It has been a long day. Lots of wrestling between Sunday and tonight. It was a full day with Memorial Day today. I've been up since, like 6 a.m. probably, honestly, and then then I started grilling because we cooked out today at like 11 and ended at like 3 something. So it's been a full day. It was a busy day. And like I said, and then checked out some Monday Night Raw tonight. So busy day, busy weekend. Raw tonight was, I don't know, subpar. Really? Yeah. I mean, I really didn't expect. I mean, I didn't have high hopes anyways. I was a little bit intrigued. Well, I don't know I want to say intrigued, but maybe I had an eye out for what they could have produced tonight based off of what AEW gave us last night. So, we'll definitely talk about it though. But other than that, though, I am here and present, ready to talk about some Monday Night Raw. So, yeah.
Was the sun at least out today? Like, was it sunny out in Indiana
time
tonight?
In like a week. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's still kind of rainy and gloomy here. I mean, it was nice out, like weather-wise, like temperature-wise. It was like 75, close to 80 degrees today, but we had rain, and it's like today was not the day to really be out grilling. The rain kind of stopped around, I'd like to say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and my neighbors were having a party. Let me ask you this, and this is off wrestling topic. I got to ask this question. Have you ever heard of somebody having a fucking bullhorn at a birthday party?
No.
So my neighbors who were having a birthday party, right behind me here, because we were pretty decent land here. I mean, we're still in a neighborhood, but it's, we have an acre of land. And our neighbors behind us were having a birthday party, and they had a fucking bullhorn. And then when the sun went down, when daylight dropped and it became nighttime, they had fireworks. And I'm like, between the bullhorn and the fireworks, my dogs were going nuts. Like, I have 2 10, 12-pound chihuahuas. Like, can you imagine their little ears hearing a bullhorn and some fireworks, man? Like,
that's probably rough.
But I can't do anything about it. Noise ordinance is 10 p.m. So it's like, I can't do anything about it. Like, I could say something like, hey, but I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm not that old yet. Maybe once I get into my 50s, I'll start like, hey, you damn kids, knock that shit off type of thing. But I'm not even 40 yet. I'm 2 months away from that. Like, a little under 2 months. But, Monday Night Raw in Columbus, Ohio tonight, Memorial Day here. Happy Memorial Day to all of our men and women service members. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Appreciate all you out there who are in the military or who were in the military who served to keep our freedom free here in our country of the United States of America. And, the thing is we know everybody has different feelings and everything in the world today, but, we do have people who served in the military to give us, that freedom to do what we want to do and live our lives, and they go and sacrifice that. So they deserve that thanks. And, definitely appreciate that. But Monday Night Raw, Columbus, Ohio tonight on the University of Ohio State. Cam, it's been about a month since we've talked about a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
We took some time off, and then about a week last week we did the State of the WWE Address, which was a great episode. If you guys want to catch that, go over to the Off the Top Media YouTube channel. Now full episode is on there. So for the first time since April 20th, out in Las Vegas, Cam, what is your grade on Monday Night Raw tonight?
Honestly, this may come to it. Maybe more of a shock.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say tonight was a B.
Okay.
Honestly, I think what they did in ring wasn't half bad outside of one glaring match that I have a lot a lot to say about. Other than that, I think what they produced tonight with some of those matches, I think was actually really good. Um, even some storyline wise wasn't awful because I can't sit here and say and harp on tonight and say it was the worst Raw that I've ever seen because trust me, we've sat here through many a Monday nights and those shows are just terrible,
Tough
so
to get through.
yes. So in ring alone, I think is what is carrying the show. Outside of that was really kind of just dull, just kind of cut and dry.
Yeah.
But not an awful show tonight. I don't think it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a lot worse. Tonight was a tolerable show. It was not bad, but like I said to you off air, we were away for. I haven't watched Raw in 2 weeks. And I come back to watching Raw this week, and I didn't miss nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't miss nothing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just goes to show that they're being consistent with sticking to the storylines and building on to what they're trying to get to. So, but they're going to Clash in Italy on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is crazy because we haven't had a WWE pay-per-view. I mean, WrestleMania, 2 nights, night 2's on a Sunday, but a one-night PLE is normally on Saturdays. But they're on a Sunday this time, this week, this month for Clash in Italy. So I can understand, number one, it's a holiday. And in the past, Memorial Day shows, you've gotten mainly in-ring action. In my memory, anyways, I remember seeing more in-ring action than anything. So it's basically like a glorified house show. It's on television. We're going to give you that action. But number two, they're building to a PLE that's coming up on the weekend. So they gotta, pretty much get to the end point so we can get to the in-ring stuff on Sunday, which made sense. Tonight was a tolerable show. Was there some stuff that I was like, why are we doing this type of stuff? But like we've said on pretty much every show that we've done, whether it's here, whether it's the Boom, not every show is going to be perfect. No show is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And especially in today's day and age in professional wrestling, no show is going to be perfect. Not every show is going to be good. Not every show is going to be freaking tolerable. But tonight was. Tonight was not bad. And I understood very quickly, even from the opening segment, when our first thing that we seen on screen tonight was Paul Heyman in the ring, I understood what we were going to get tonight. Right off the rip. They're trying to get to Sunday. So, but let's talk about the first thing on the docket, which was the last thing we seen on our screen tonight, and that was the contract signing for the main event at Clash in Italy this Sunday. And that is Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. It is going to be tribal combat. Now, we've seen at the top of the show Roman Reigns coming into the building. It was announced it was his birthday today, so happy birthday to the tribal chief. Later on in the show, that we've seen Adam Pearce and Roman Reigns sitting backstage, and they agreed that Jacob should be fired, basically, for the things that he's been doing ever since Backlash, because Jacob has just been running fucking roughshod on Monday Night Raw, and they agree that he should be gone. But Adam Pearce was saying to Roman, hey, are you sure you want this match? Because Jacob challenged Roman to tribal combat last week, and Roman gladly accepted. So they end up having the contract signing tonight. Jacob first comes out. He ends up signing the contract, and right after he does that, loses his shit, throws everything out of the ring. Out comes Roman Reigns, and Roman asked all the security to go away, leave. And Adam Pearce said, are you sure you don't want security to do their job? And Roman Reigns specified, hey, he signed the contract. He signed with his blood. That means he can't touch me until that bell rings on Sunday. So nothing can happen. It's just going to be words right now. When we get to those words, one thing that Roman basically said to Jacob was, if you can't beat me, I will walk you like a dog and domesticate you. When he said that, I was like, oh, man. I was waiting. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat waiting to see what Jacob's reaction was going to be to that, because Jacob has been fighting to not fall in line. Now, the rules for this is whoever loses has to fall in line and acknowledge the other and has to serve them. Basically what I've been saying for a while now, that I feel like Jacob, after we're done with this, is going to fall in line. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to be put in that position. But loser does fall in line, and the winner becomes the tribal chief, becomes the world heavyweight champion, and pretty much closed out the show with them doing the traditional handshake and forehead lean into each other, and off camera we went. Cam, your thoughts on the contract signing and everything that we've seen tonight from Roman and Jacob? Yeah, we're going to talk about Clash in Italy, by the way, tonight after we get done talking about Raw. We'll do a quick rundown of Clash in Italy.
Not too much here on this thing. There's not much you can really do once there's a no touch clause in place. And it's kind of weird to be given that to these two, because it's been nothing but physical.
Yeah,
I mean, last week you saw old school Bloodline rear its ugly head when they all ganged up on Jacob just to be able to take Jacob down. And that was when we got into tribal combat. That's how we got to this point in the first place. So without that, there's not really much to be said. And first of all, like I said, with the walk you like a dog line, that's straight from Jacob's old independent promos. He said it all the time.
Yep. Back
in MLW. So that's definitely straight from Jacob's just past promos and things like that. So that's definitely a callback to that. I think they're pretty, it's staring you in the face. It's already set in stone. We talked about this when this match first got set up heading into Backlash a few weeks ago when they faced each other for the first time, that Jacob Fatu going against Roman, or worse, going against Roman, Jimmy, and Jay makes no sense. Yeah. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's good on paper because, again, this is a match, possibly a dream match or dream match scenario that was talked about heavily when Jacob first walked in the door. So this is a match that they're obviously going to play out a little bit, outside of just one match. They're obviously going to get two matches. Maybe they could get three. I don't know. But they were obviously going to give us a couple of matches with these two, seeing as this match is long overdue. So, but it's staring you in the face. I could see this result, and there's only one result. Roman retains, and then Jacob falls in line. That's the only way that this really goes. Any other way doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, it would be a shock value sort of thing to go the other way and have Jacob win the world title, but again, I think it would just be a Darby effect, and it would just be so out of place and just out of left field. I don't know how long people would really be interested in that. And if I had to guess, I'd literally give it probably 2 weeks, and then people would be wondering, okay, what's next? Because if you don't have something backing that, it just would fall flat on its face.
I mean, if Jacob were to win this match, storyline wise, I don't think it would work anyways, because Roman has been very vocal about what his contract entails. He shows up when he wants to.
Yeah.
That's it. So he could pretty much say, like, yeah, I got to fall in line with you, but I work for WWE, not you.
Yeah.
And then he could just go away and not be on screen. And the times that he does come back, we see him acknowledging Jacob for the little time that he'd be there, but it would just feel too weird because Roman built that tribal chief, aura. So for somebody else to take that over, I mean, I remember the time when we were kind of pushing for Jay to get it, but if Jay would have done it, Jay would have made a little more sense. If that makes sense, like Jay would have made a little more sense. Where Jacob, it's like he was, for years on the outside looking in from the indie scene, and now he's here. And he's just now getting embedded into this bloodline story. Even if Solo would have been the one to beat Roman back when they did Tribal Combat on the first episode of Raw on Netflix, it would have made a little more sense because Solo came in. He was brought in by Roman. So, but Jacob, it just, I don't know. It would be too weird. Plus, Roman could just go away. It'd be that simple for him. It makes more sense for Jacob to lose this match and for him to fall in line, because at some point, then Jacob would get used to it and be like, okay, I'm with my family now. And like we talked about months ago, when we started seeing the bloodline thing kind of starting to reform, it was like, okay, Roman wins the world title, Usos could be tag champions, and, Jacob falls in line, he could go for the Intercontinental Championship or something. Like, that would be them taking over Monday Night Raw. And that's what would make sense. So, but ultimately, again, we're going to talk about Clash in Italy a little later on, but, it's basically, this is in favor of Roman. You're not going to have him have this short title run. It's not. Is he going to have a historic run like he had the first time? No, but you're not going to shorten his title reign right now. That's not going to happen. He is the face of Monday Night Raw pretty much while you have somebody like a CM Punk taking time off, because CM Punk was running hard when he was world champion. So, again, Clash in Italy on Sunday, Jacob, Roman, Tribal Combat. We're going to talk a little bit later about that when we talk about Clash in Paris. Let's shift gears to the Intercontinental title scene, because the Intercontinental title scene seems to be heating up a little bit. Couple people involved. I mean, Saturday Night Main Event, Penta beat Ethan Page to retain the Intercontinental title. We opened up the show tonight with Penta defending against Javon Evans. Penta in a number one, great match. It was a good opening match. It was. But Penta ended up retaining. And I'm going to just kind of bunch everything together here as far as the Intercontinental title scene. A little later, we go to the backstage, and we see Penta and Javon Evans kind of catch up with each other. Javon Evans, after he walked out of the ring, kind of disrespected Penta in anger tonight when he left. We see Javon Evans apologize to him, and Penta was like, it's cool. And then you see Rey Mysterio come into the picture and say, you remember when we were that age, and talking about the Intercontinental title, and Penta offers Rey Mysterio an Intercontinental title shot. So it seems like our next Intercontinental title match is going to be Rey Mysterio and Penta. Ethan Page and Rusev, they seem to have a problem with that. So we end up seeing Rey Mysterio and Rusev in a match tonight. Rey Mysterio winning and getting post-match attacked, and then Dragon Lee came out and helped Rey Mysterio. Penta, like I said, Cam, during our WWE State of the Dress last week, I think Penta is one of the hottest champions in WWE right now with the Intercontinental title, doing what he's doing with that belt. Your thoughts, number one, on the match between him and Javon Evans tonight, and your ultimate thoughts with the Intercontinental title itself, with how everything's going right now.
Penta and Javon, I thought, had a phenomenal match. This could have main evented. I think I would have preferred this to main event. Penta has got to main event one of these Intercontinental Championship defenses. I think he's earned that, and I think it's almost a disrespect or disrespectful to him to not allow him to main event with that Intercontinental Championship. Highlight, if you really care about the Intercontinental Championship, if you really care about the mid-card scene, if you really care about wanting to push and highlight Penta, there is no better way than to have one of these defenses that he has on one of these Monday Night Raws, main event Monday Night Raw. I'm not talking the last match and then you have some main event segment. No, I'm talking
close the night,
fade to black. That I think he's earned that, because he definitely could put on a banger in the main event with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. The match was fantastic. Don't know what's going on with Javon Evans. I don't think he's going to turn heel. I know some people are probably thinking that he's not turning heel. I think it's going to be him refocusing and just getting focused, trying to chase that Intercontinental Championship ultimately, I do think that's probably the end goal with him eventually beating Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. I think he's perfect for it. Honestly, I really do. Either him or Ethan Page, and him and Ethan Page feuding for the championship. Even either Page, Penta, and Javon in a triple threat, I think would be great too on a pay per view or special night of Raw. So I think they are biding their time for some special night or payoff or some special, paved road for Javon to eventually win that championship, much like they did with Penta. It's just it's not time right now. He's still fresh, pretty much as fresh can be on the main roster. So he doesn't really need to win the championship right now. Otherwise, he would kind of be at a dead end because after that, it's like, where do we go from there? So they need to build it up just like they did for Penta. Otherwise, phenomenal match. The Intercontinental Championship scene, I think, is red hot right now. It's amazing. Like I said, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Penta is a champion right now. So there's so many avenues right now. Rusev, like there's just so many avenues right now that they have. And I think coming out of I kind of had that fear a little bit, like coming out of Mania. I'm like, okay, you're putting in a lot of guys that they could have singles matches with Penta. I thought maybe you're going to lose a little bit of steam coming out of Mania after that, especially with Penta retaining. But no, I think they've picked it up, and it's probably one of those things where you watch Monday Night Raw, or you're anticipating watching Monday Night Raw each week, and you're just like, okay, who's Penta facing this week? Because he's the highlight of the mid card every week. So it's red hot right now, honestly.
I'll say this: the one person that I'm happy for that they finally put in a position of doing something with is Rusev.
Yeah,
like he came in when he first came in. Yeah, when he first came back, it was like, what do you do with him? What do you like? You brought him back for something. What is that something? And it took them a little bit to get to this point, but now it's like, okay, we have him doing something. Had a great match against Ray tonight. Really good match against Ray tonight, by the way. That was included into this if you want to speak on that match as well. But had a really good match tonight with Rey Mysterio. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of, and I'm not saying this as a jab towards or trying to do like the comparison thing, but I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of the Rusev from AEW coming out, which is not a bad thing. I would love to see the Miro come out from Rusev. I would love to see that. I want to see him start getting this big, nasty, attitude type way, because I think it would do good for him. Just like with Natalya. For years, we see Natalya and she's coming out smiling. Even when she was a heel, smiling and panning out to the crowd. Now it's fucking natty. Now she's like, I'll beat your ass and I don't care. Like that's her. And I would love to see that from Rusev. So if you have thoughts on the Rey Mysterio and Rusev match as well, I mean, that was a good match. And I actually enjoyed that match.
So with how you're thinking about Rusev, just on that, I don't know. I don't really get that feel. He has a really cool entrance.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It's something to really think about. Like, okay, this is something special because it's something different that they don't really do, because they don't really do a lot of. I mean, I guess each entrance for each superstar in faction or whatever is unique or special to them. But I think after a while they kind of get generic because they're all kind of the same. But then you have those few that have that dramatic entrance, spotlight. They have the drop points of certain beats when they do certain motions, pyro, yada 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 yada. And it's like, okay, when you have an entrance like Rusev's, it's like, okay, there's no way that you need to do something with this guy, because that's something different. That's something unique that a lot of people on Raw don't have. So I'm getting remnants like sprinkled in there of the Redeemer from AEW, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just roster positioning for him, or it was just the freedom, I guess, he kind of had to just do what he wanted with his character as opposed to being in WWE. I don't know what it is, but it still does not feel the same. There's something about it, because it's the second the lights turn back on and and he makes his entrance, it's like all of that, what I got from him being the Redeemer in AEW is gone.
Goes
And
away.
it's like, okay, it's just Rusev again.
Yeah.
Then he starts making his way to the entrance. It's like I lost it. It had me at the entrance,
Mhm.
and then the lights turn on, and it's like, okay, it's just Rusev. Like
I get it.
there's something it's just a disconnect. I don't know what it is, but again, like I said, got to give them credit. They're at least getting him on TV, because it was just like they forgot about him, and I'm like, what are we doing? We didn't just bring this guy back to have him sit in catering. That makes no sense to me. But
I think they actually listened to us complain online about what they did to Andrade for those 2 years.
Yeah, and that's the same path they're taking with Rusev if they don't do something with him soon.
Yeah.
Initially, I did not care for this match with him and Ray. I was just like, why?
Why is it happening? Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I really did not care for it.
Yeah.
But man, it honestly started to really pick up, and I'm like, okay, they're actually kind of cooking with this right now. This is good stuff. It really is. Again, highlighted Rusev getting him back on track to be this monster, this animal that he can be, for the roster, and just like I said, just something big, something bigger than what he was, or again, even a shell of what he was back in AEW. And then, like I said, getting Ray on TV as well. Again, big things for Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is now the general manager of AAA. And like I said, he's also going to be getting an Intercontinental Championship match against Penta. I think that's going to be amazing. Yeah. So good stuff here. Like I said, that mid card right now is honestly heating up to be one of the best, I think. So they cannot afford any missteps, because to get it back to what it is right now is probably going to be pretty tough. So I enjoyed the match, though.
I mean, me and you talked about it after AEW last night about Double or Nothing, and we said, because me and you had a pretty extensive conversation after Double or Nothing last night, and we pretty much both said that WWE had to find something tonight to kind of, feed off of what AEW just did, because AEW put on a hell of a show last night. So they had to give us a little bit of something tonight, even something to kind of grasp onto, to be able to discuss or like wonder what they're going to do next with. And I think they found that. And that's with the Intercontinental title scene. Some people are going to question, why is Rey Mysterio getting an Intercontinental title shot? Why, number one, if you're questioning why Rusev is in this, don't, because they're doing something with him.
Right.
And Ethan Page, people have been hungry for Ethan Page to be on the main roster. You don't want him to just come up and sit around and just be another body on the television. No, you want him to be doing something, and he's doing something. He's involved. And you got the excitement of a young Javon Evans in the middle of everything. So enjoy what you're seeing with the Intercontinental title scene right now, because like you said, it's heating up. It's heating up and it's exciting. It's kind of like, all right, I want to see where they go with this. Like, yeah. I'm pretty intrigued on this right now. So another intriguing thing that happened tonight was we found out that Logan Paul ended up tearing his tricep on Saturday night. He's going to be out for the next couple months. So Austin Theory was left with Logan Paul's tag team championship. So he went to Paul Heyman and he said, hey, like, what do I do with this? He was going to hand him the belt, thinking tag team title run was over. But Paul Heyman explained to him, like, look, when I signed up for this contract, when you guys went after the tag team titles, I didn't put down just you and Logan Paul. I put down the Vision challenging for the tag team titles, which means if one member of the Vision's out, another member of the Vision steps in. It's basically the New Day rule. Remember the New Day rule? Where anybody from the New Day can defend the tag titles? Well, that was this case. And Austin Theory got super excited and ended up hugging Paul Heyman, pretty much almost squeezed the guy to like purpleness, so they said Braun Breaker is going to be his new tag team champion partner. Then we see Austin Theory kind of go on a mean streak tonight, kind of flip the switch. Mean streak number one was attacking Joe Hendry after Joe Hendry did his commercial break concert in the ring. And then he ended up attacking Angelo Dawkins after the Seth Rollins-Montez Ford match. Now, Seth Rollins and Montez Ford, their match happened because they had a discussion in the back about the Vision, and Seth trying to get the Street Profits to join him in this fight. Not necessarily saying they want to be friends or anything like that after they take care of business. That's pretty much what it is them trying to take care of business. And then we see Montez Ford later on say, hey, let's take care of business together. Then before we get to our main event scene tonight, we see Austin Theory getting yelled at by Adam Pearce, telling him he needed to leave the building. So, yeah, Austin Theory goes on this mean streak. And by the way, he walks past Otis and Tozawa with Maxine. And Otis says he smells something fishy. And Maxine goes, he's going through a lot right now. Cut him a break. So, your thoughts on this whole Vision thing? Your thoughts on this Seth Rollins Profits thing? And if you have any thoughts on Maxine's comments, by all means, the floor is yours.
Man, a lot to unpack here. First of all, Seth and the Profits. Again, it's a brief alliance because they have common interests in a common enemy. Taking out the Vision, so that makes sense. I think the Street Profits are also chasing the tag team titles, which again, I'm all for putting the tag team titles on the Street Profits. That just is a no-brainer here. Montez Ford, I do believe, again, we talked about people talked about this years ago with Montez Ford and him possibly getting a singles run. I think that's that's another thing that I think that's long overdue here. He's in tremendous shape, and I almost feel bad for wrestlers like him who completely he showed his transformation, right? Of him just getting extremely jacked.
Yeah,
I feel bad for wrestlers like him who go through these dramatic transformations and spend, I'm sure, hours upon hours at either at their home gyms or gyms that they have memberships to or whatever around the country, because the crazy travel schedules and things like that, just to be shelved on TV. It's sad to see. You do all this work and the company just overlooks you. So I don't know. I don't know what else Montez really has to do, because you look at who he's with, and Bianca has done a lot, and Montez just has not achieved even a fraction of that. So even if we don't necessarily need to break up the Street Profits and he's going on this heel turn or whatever, but I think he's earned even the briefest of brief singles runs to see what he can actually do. And I think, I think I'm jumping ahead here, but the match with him and Seth, I think was a small taste of what Montez, I think, can do on his own against someone that, of course, is highly regarded on Monday Night Raw, and Seth Rollins, a former world champion, things like that. So I'm really liking just that in general. And I don't think that should be something that should just be dropped after the match tonight. They definitely should, again, keep exploring just opportunities, I think, to do something with Montez, even in a singles capacity. With the Vision and things like that, the Vision is just cursed. They're just cursed. I don't get the point. I don't understand why they are so hell-bent on continuing this Vision thing. Paul, all he has to do, and this will probably be the easiest thing Paul has ever had to do on the mic.
Yeah.
Excommunicado Bronson Reed. He's hurt. It's not going to affect anything. He's hurt, and he's going to be hurt for several more months. He's nowhere near ready, I'm sure. Excommunicado Bronson Reed. Excommunicado Logan Paul. He's hurt now too. And then kick out, and then actively on screen kick out Austin Theory. The only two people that I want to see that's the remnants of the Vision. The only two people that make sense to still be together is Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. That's the real Vision, is Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker. That's it. That's the only thing I want to see, because that they are a match made in heaven. It just makes perfect sense, right? Cool, no problem. That would just be that's just the way to go. That to me makes the most sense. And then, like I said, you could just figure out what to do with everyone else. Distribute them evenly between Raw and SmackDown, whatever. However, I will say tonight, with Paul and Austin Theory, there was no Braun Breaker tonight, just Paul and Austin Theory. And it was very little Paul Heyman because he didn't really talk much, which is rare.
Yeah.
this was the best stuff from Austin Theory. I loved it because this is what they should have done with him coming back, not making him some like lackey almost.
Mm-hmm.
This was great. I liked this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the show like 3 times at least.
Yeah.
This was the best stuff they've done with Austin Theory, and I like it.
Just to see him go from being excited and hugging Paul Heyman till he was blue in the face to flipping a switch and attacking guys was gold. Like this is what they should have been doing with Austin Theory since he came back. He could be that guy, that he's just quietly there until that switch flips.
Yeah.
And then start attacking people.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I'm with you on the Montez Ford thing. I am. I mean, I know years ago, all the chatter about whether they were going to break up the Street Profits or not, and Montez Ford go on that singles run, and then they never did that. I don't even know if we don't even know if they ever had that idea in the first place. Maybe it was just a teaser thing to do to us, leaving us wondering if they were going to or not. But we've seen guys that are in tag teams go on that singles run. I mean, Kofi and the New Day wins the WWE Championship. We've seen guys in tag teams and groups and stuff go on and win singles gold or do singles competitive stuff. So why not? Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins can hold his own as a singles guy too. He's got the talent. He does. I mean, yeah, Montez Ford, for all extents and purposes, is more talented. We know that. But I think Angelo Dawkins would be able to hold his own as a singles competitor for a little bit too. And look at the Usos. The Usos, they went off on their own for 2 years. Now they're back together, but they still do the singles thing. So they can do it. You can do it. They can pull it off. I mean, how do you think these guys started out?
Yeah.
Before coming to WWE, they were doing single stuff.
Yeah.
So what's up, Isaiah? Thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you being here on the table spot. Talk about Monday Night Raw from Columbus, Ohio. Tonight, we're going to talk about Clash in Italy in just a few moments. But yeah, I'm with you. I liked what they did with Austin Theory tonight, and I'm now kind of curious. I mean, we've seen in the past couple weeks of Austin Theory talking to Maxine in the background of segments, and now we finally got that up front and kind of like that first interaction of Maxine saying something like cut him some slack. He's going through a lot. Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on Maxine with that interaction, or are you kind of in the position right now of like, let's see if anything else comes from it?
Oh, she's definitely joining the Vision for sure.
Yeah,
that was the first real indication. Any other time, I don't think she would have spoken up or kind of defended heels in any way. So that's not it, just that small little tidbit there is not Maxine at all. So I think they're already talking to Maxine. We've seen in the background them talking to Maxine, Austin Theory talking to Maxine. Rumors suggest that she could be the newest member to the Vision. That right there is enough for me to tell me that she's probably joining the Vision. Yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah. And we talked about that in the past of the possibilities of her joining, especially with seeing her talking to him in the background.
Yeah.
Isaiah asked us, will Zilla 2 make his debut at Clash in Italy?
I don't know. There has been several other events that they said Zilla was going to make his debut. They said it at Backlash, and that didn't happen. Will it happen at Clash in Italy? I'm not going to hold my breath. Personally, I'm not. He is still holding the House of Glory Crown Jewel Championship or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't unless there's a report that says he's done with House of Glory, he's done with Fourth Rope, yada yada yada. Then maybe, because other than that, I just don't see him just randomly appearing, and he's got other obligations to these independent companies because they're going to go, well, what the hell? You know what I mean? Let's just not happen.
I mean, the good thing about today's WWE is some of the superstars are able to go and do outside things now. You know, we've seen Natty go off and work with the National Wrestling Alliance. She's worked with Bloodsport and all that stuff.
When it's convenient, not a
yeah.
lot, but yeah.
So like if there's some type of thing to where WWE's like, we understand you're holding a championship here and you're working here, but you need to know that if you're working here, this is your first schedule.
Yeah.
You know, we're okay with you going and working these other obligations. That's no problem. But because we're not used to WWE being okay with superstars working other obligations unless it's a WWE thing. Now we're starting to see superstars working other obligations while still working for WWE. But I still think WWE and, you know, TKO kind of has that thing of like, we are your number one.
Yeah.
So you're obligated to us first. Now, if we don't need you or have you on a show, then go do your thing. Go take care of the business you got to take care of, conduct what you got to conduct. But if we need you here. And that's that. I'm with you. I'm not holding my breath either. If he shows up at Clash in Italy during Tribal Combat, cool. Awesome. Will I be excited for it? It will depend on what role he plays.
It's a moment for sure.
It is definitely a moment.
But it's got to move. It's got to go further than just a moment. They got to do something with it.
But
don't let it fall flat.
Yeah, no, I agree. But if he gets involved in Tribal Combat, number one, the rules that entailed with Tribal Combat is what side is he taking then? You know what I mean? Like, we've seen him cut promos on social media defending the Usos and Roman Reigns when CM Punk was cutting his promos. So that indicates to me that he would be on the Roman Uso side and the Bloodline side. So if we see him show up, then I'm highly expecting him to be helping Roman and not Jacob, which means Jacob loses and Jacob falls in line, thus giving us our new formation of the Bloodline: Roman, the Usos, Zilla, Jacob. So that would be what I would see it as in my expectations if we do see Zilla show up. But yeah, I heard the whole Backlash thing too, and I'm like, you know, perfect timing would have probably been Backlash. Do they have an opportunity here at Clash in Italy? They do. They have an opportunity. They have an opportunity anywhere. It's just whether they take the opportunity or not. So we'll have to see what happens. Definitely. Last thing to talk about for Monday Night Raw tonight before we get into talking about Clash in Italy was the opening segment. Paul Heyman was standing in the middle of the ring, and he considers that Brock and Oba's rematch at Clash in Italy is the biggest rematch in professional wrestling history. Okay. Number one, I highly disagree with him right off the bat. I don't think it's the biggest rematch in pro wrestling history. That's just my opinion. Then Brock had a video package talking about Oba Femi and talking about admitting the fact that he got his ass kicked at WrestleMania, and he accepts taking ass kickings, but it didn't sit well with him. And that's why he attacked Oba, and they're having this match at Clash at Italy. And then we see Oba Femi show up and just pretty much get in the face of Paul Heyman tonight. And he said, I have one message for you. And you tell Brock that the last time we fought, it was for me to fight and beat him. But this time, it's for me to pretty much end him. He said other words, but I'm not going to say those words. Pretty much end him. So your thoughts from this opening segment tonight between Paul Heyman and Oba Femi for their match leading into Clash in Italy?
Again, limited to of things they can do without Brock actually being there. So I mean, decent stuff there. Again, like I said, we don't really see Oba a whole lot, nor do I think we need to a whole lot on the mic necessarily. I think his presence and what he does in the ring just kind of speaks for itself. I mean, yeah, he's just a star automatically, right? I'm excited for Brock Oba too. I've said this plenty of times. Again, I'm not trying to hurt my brain and lose more brain cells by trying to figure out the confusion on whether or not Brock actually retired or if it was some sort of rebellion against TKO. I don't know. At this point, I don't even think I care. It's just it is what it is now. Here we are. Brock Oba 2, right? Again, I think this is really designed and set up for Brock to win this, to get his one up. Because like I said, if Brock goes 2-0, or if Oba goes 2-0 on Brock, we're done. We don't need a third. There's just no point. There's no point. Brock has nothing to fight for. He's fighting from the bottom up, and it doesn't look right, and it's not going to do anything more for Obafemi. It's not even going to. The second one is not even going to boost Oba any more than that first victory, because that first victory was at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like, you can't really top that.
No,
but it'll look good. It just won't look great like it did at Mania. So, but again, it'll do just enough, and then after that, we can hopefully get back on track with Oba and give him something better than just some ridiculous open challenges, and then Brock can just, I don't know, go on his merry way until his next match will probably be his retirement match in Minnesota at SummerSlam. So I'm excited to see it. There's not much else to really say there. We'll see what we get next week or in the weeks coming, I guess. We'll see what we get at Clash in Italy. I'm sure that'll be great. And then we can move on. We can probably move on from there. Unless Brock wins, and then we have something more to talk about, because we would have to get a third. We can't just end it 1-1. It would just feel like a cliffhanger. So we'll see.
Me and you had the discussion about this as well off air, about what direction they could possibly go with Brock Lesnar, especially because of SummerSlam being in Minnesota and the anticipation of him having his final match in his former, because I mean he's from Minnesota, but as we know, he doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Yeah, no, he lives in Saskatchewan. I think that's where he lives now. Yes. Yeah. And but it's still the point, he's from Minnesota. So the anticipation of him having a match at SummerSlam to kind of close out his career officially. Like he said in the promo tonight, like, hey, I'm retired, but I'm back. So he's retired and he's back. That don't make sense, because normally when you're retired,
you're done.
You're done. So make that make sense, Brock, please. Number one. Number two, if Oba were to lose this match, then my thought is number 3 is going to happen at SummerSlam. We had talked about the possibilities of Brock and Gunther at SummerSlam because of Gunther being the career killer. But now that we have Gunther facing Cody at Clash in Italy, the possibilities of Gunther winning the WWE Championship, does that make Brock's final match a WWE title match at SummerSlam?
Good question.
But then the big question is do you really want to waste would it be a waste? I don't want to assume that it's a waste. So let me reword this. Would you consider it a waste of a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam, knowing Gunther is not walking out a loser that night? It's pretty much already foregone conclusion that Gunther's walking out still WWE champion at SummerSlam. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say a waste. Again, that's a treat for his hometown crowd. To see him have his last match be a WWE Championship match, that's good for them.
I mean, Goldberg got one. He got a world title match.
So I was just getting ready to say that. I mean, the same thing with Goldberg. I mean, he went out with getting a championship match in his hometown as well. So kind of similarities there. So I don't think necessarily a waste. I would say it's a risk for them, just because again, there's some Cody lovers in creative. They love Cody Rhodes. So it would leave them with their favorite Cody Rhodes with nothing to do at one of their biggest shows in SummerSlam.
I was about to raise my hand.
And the only thing I could think of to have Cody do to keep him occupied while the WWE Championship is tied up with Gunther and Brock Lesnar is now, again, assuming Randy is back off of his sabbatical or whatever by that time, is Cody Randy, and that would be like a number one contendership match. Whoever wins that match gets the winner of Gunther Brock, which we would know it's going to be Gunther. That's the only thing I could say do, just to kind of keep him in the realm of, you know, the championship without adding him to the match and making a triple threat retirement match, which would make no sense. So yeah, like that's the only thing I could say. So I wouldn't say a waste, but just a risk for creative, because again, they just love Cody so much. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that though. Either way, that's the only road I see this going, unless we get Oba and Brock 3 at SummerSlam. So again, there's just so many avenues. It's really just up in the air. Clash, there's a lot of riding on who wins at Clash. Either we're done with this and Oba wins, Brock wins. We have to get a 3. There's no way they can end it like that.
Something I was thinking about all day after we had our talk last night about directions and stuff, or where they can go with things. You'd said to me, you know, if they do have Brock win on Sunday, you know, then I questioned, you know, what do we do? You would possibly have to have Oba go off TV for a little bit, because you don't want to have Oba continue doing these open challenge things. Yeah. But then you mentioned, no, have him go in the King of the Ring, make it to the semis, like the semifinals, and then Brock cost him that, and then you could take off from there and through the month of July.
I did say that, yeah.
You know, yeah. And I was thinking about that all day, and I was like, that is fucking gold. Like that would work. And then we could get 3 weeks of Brock and Obafemi building up to SummerSlam, have a little bit of dialogue, because we didn't get a lot of dialogue on their road to WrestleMania. We just got them purely kicking the shit out of each other. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not, you know, have Oba make it to the semifinals? Brock costs him that match. And then we get 3 weeks of him and Brock having some type of dialogue. Because tonight we got some dialogue from Oba, which was really good dialogue. It wasn't bad dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, him sending his message to Brock. And Brock's video package was not bad. Bad. So, you know, it's almost like planting that seed tonight for what we could see going through the summertime. You know, so, but if Oba wins on Sunday, then it needs to be done. Yeah. It definitely needs to be done. I like the idea of option A, have Oba lose, drop the match to Brock, and then get a build up to SummerSlam. I like that, opposed to seeing, like, confusing the masses of trying to get Gunther in the position of facing Brock, and us possibly getting Brock in a WWE title match at SummerSlam as his final match. Yes, I understand Goldberg got one and everything like that, but I like option A of Oba and Brock at SummerSlam for match number 3.
And it doesn't even need to be clean.
No.
Think about that for a second. It could be a low blow, then the ref turns around, and then F5.
Yes.
Protect Oba at all costs.
Of course.
So,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Or, you know, Paul Heyman's going to be at ringside. Have Paul Heyman do something.
Slide in a weapon or something.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Why not? Hell, Austin Theory could come out and get involved a little bit.
Ooh, he calls it. I like that. He calls in some hired help. I like that.
Why
not?
That.
It's not bad.
Give Austin Theory a little bit of a spotlight.
I mean, like I said, it adds depth to Brock. He's tried everything in the match. Oba just keeps kicking out. He gets desperate.
Yep.
So
yeah. Well, that's Monday Night Raw from Columbus, Ohio, tonight on May 25th, 2026. Cam, let's get into Clash in Italy coming up this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. We are getting 2 matches on ESPN, and then they are going to head over to the app exclusively. Match number 1 to talk about is Obafemi Brock Lesnar. Cam, who are you taking in this one, and what do you expect from it?
Like I said, I'm taking Brock Lesnar. Honestly, I think that just makes the most sense here. This just feels like Brock's revenge tour, or him trying to get the one up after Mania, after losing at Mania. So that makes the most sense to me. I'm not necessarily wanting that to happen. Like I really don't want to see the visual of Oba getting pinned this soon. But as I just said, closing out Monday Night Raw. Again, they can easily just have him win, with cheating or taking the low road or whatnot have you, having someone get involved, yada yada. And that just, again, I think that just adds more fuel to the fire to get us to Brock and Oba 3 for SummerSlam potentially. So yeah, but Brock Lesnar winning this just makes the most sense. Oba beating him again, while I think that's great, I think that's good for Oba. Once again, I think that's just sound booking by them. It's just dumb. You don't, not dumb, but like it's beating a dead horse. He did it at Mania. To do it again, you really don't. It makes you wonder. Okay, well, why did we even need to have this match? If that was the plan from the start, like you don't need to have him beat Brock twice. It just does not do. It doesn't have the same effect as I said before. Mania is it. That is their biggest show. So if you put someone over, especially the young talent, that's major. But you're not going to have that same magic doing the same thing a second time. It's not. It's going to be diminished. So you really need a plan after that if you have Oba win this match. So Brock to me is just the slightly more sound choice, I think, here. So
I mean, if I'm going Brock Lesnar as well. I'm going Brock too because, again, option A, I want Brock to win. I want us to get that road through the summertime to SummerSlam. Because Oba did say tonight, hey, tell Brock I'm going to retire him again. Like, when that happens, who knows? Is it going to happen at Clash? I don't think so. I think Brock wins this. We get Oba Brock 3 at SummerSlam. But no, yeah, if Oba does by any chance win this match on Sunday, then you better have something planned. You better have something planned quick, and you better have him off to the races. You can't have him win and then come back and do these 2-on-1 squash matches, open challenge crap on Monday Night Raw like you've been doing. You can't do that. You need to put him, and I hate saying this because I don't think they necessarily do it, because I'm in agreement with you. I want to see Oba Femi win the Royal Rumble in 2027.
Yes.
Okay? But if you have Oba Femi beat Brock Lesnar at Clash in Italy, then you need to put him on the same path you put Brock Lesnar on when Brock first came in, and that is win King of the Ring, go to SummerSlam, win the world title. Simple as that. Because there's nowhere else for Oba Femi to go but to the ceiling.
Yeah.
You can't have him come back down and go after the Intercontinental title. You can't have him as a mid-card guy after he comes in and beats Brock Lesnar 2 times in a row. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't. So if he beats Brock, he's got to be on the same path that Brock was in when he first came in. King of the Ring winner, go for the world title at SummerSlam and win it. Simple as that. But we got the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch is going to be defending against Sol Ruca. They had their match at Saturday night's main event, and Sol Ruca ended up losing that match because she accidentally, Jessica Carr was pulled in front of Sol Ruca while she was going to do the Soul Snatcher, and she got disqualified. They then made the match for Sunday between Becky and Sol Ruca. Cam, who do you got, Becky or Sol Ruca, walking out as Intercontinental Champion on Sunday?
It's going to be Becky Lynch. I think it's too soon for Sol Ruca right now. She has to build up that resume. She's still very new and still getting her feet planted. So once she builds up that resume, again, it's the Penta thing. It's the Penta effect. I think it's not about them winning championships immediately, because you burn the crowd out on them too soon. And then their momentum is just gone. It's not because they killed it off, through bad decisions, but they stunted it because they let the fire burn too fast. No, you need to just have some programming for her for a while, for a few months, and then get her to that big stage. I don't know if that's a SummerSlam. I don't know if that's a Survivor Series. I don't know. But get her to a big stage, and then you pull the trigger and have her win that championship. It's all about, again, this company is all about moments, right? They love creating moments. Well, don't squander moments on a clash in Italy that, yeah, cool. It's a big, it's one of their bigger, international tours or whatnot have you, cool, but it's not a big WWE staple show where the crowd is red hot. I mean, I want the crowd screaming their heads off for Sol Ruka and absolutely booing Becky out of the building. Like, I want that kind of stage for Sol Ruka to win the championship. And this, I don't think is. I don't know what Italy's gonna. I can't really say that. I don't know what Italy's going to react to. I have no idea. So I can't speak for them, but I still believe that this is not the correct stage for Sol Ruka to win the championship. So Becky's got to retain.
Yeah, I'm with you. Becky wins. Again, Becky's been super, super hot with being the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, the big time Bex thing. Like I said to you, I would love to see big time Bex take that next step and get back into the world title scene at some point. Because I don't feel like she's exhausted everything as big time Bex Intercontinental Champion, but I think she's at that point to where she can walk into the world title scene and things would be good. Like, not saying she overexhausted the Intercontinental title. By all means, she's having a great run, and it's going to continue. But at the same time, I feel like she could be in that world title picture as well, and it would fit so good. The problem is Liv Morgan's champion right now, so you're not going to have two heels, battling for the world title. If anything, you have her go to SmackDown and challenge Rhea Ripley, but I don't see that happening either. The thing I feel bad for Sol Ruka because ever since she's come up to the main roster, they've just put her in a not so good position. Like, I don't think I remember the last time somebody got called up and has been put in a position to come in and just lose. Like, you're trying to get her elevated, and you're not elevating her by having her lose continuously. And now she's in Intercontinental title matches. Explain that to me. How does somebody just lose and then be put into title matches?
Yeah.
I don't get that. Why? Because you had a successful showing at John Cena's last match back in December? Come on now. Like, I don't see Sol Ruka winning. They've got to get her elevated. They got to start having her win matches and build her up. That was the thing, is Lyra came in and Lyra had the instant success. First women's Intercontinental champion, everything like that. And then they knocked her back down. And ever since then, they just have not been able to elevate her. Like, is she doing good things with Bayley? Yeah, for the most part. But she's stuck in that women's tag team title scene now. So why are you not elevating Sol Ruka the way you elevated Lyra Valkyria when she first came in? So we'll see what happens. On ESPN, we got the WWE Women's Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley will be defending the championship against Jade Cargill, basically a WrestleMania rematch. Again, this is going to be exclusively for free on ESPN, but you can watch it on the ESPN app as well. Cam, what do you got on Rhea and Jade, and who's walking out as champion?
This seems very Backlash like. I feel like this should have happened at Backlash probably if they were going to have a rematch.
Agreed.
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to SmackDown in that women's roster. That women's roster desperately needs an overhaul, I think. This is the whole reason I think Rhea was moved to SmackDown in the first place. There's nothing really left for her to do on Raw, number one. Number two, the SmackDown women's roster needs the firepower. With Jade as champion, if they want to build up Jade as, like I said, a megastar or roll out the red carpet like they were when she first came into the company, that's great. But then that just kind of dwarfs everyone else around her on the SmackDown women's roster because nobody is really touching Jade in that regard. No one is treated the same or looked at as the same as Jade Cargill. So that they needed some kind of firepower on SmackDown and just with namesake. And that's why I think they had to go with Rhea. I have to say Rhea retains here. Why put the championship on? Why have Rhea beat Jade at Mania? And probably is going to go down as a classic
Yes.
In terms of women's championship matches, that was great.
Awesome match.
Only to flip the title back to Jade. That makes no sense to me. It's got to be Rhea. I think it would be too soon. And it's not to say that I don't think Jade will ever not be women's champion again, but this soon, no, I don't think so.
First off, Virgo, thank you for coming in tonight. Appreciate you being here. That is the first nickname we've gotten in exactly 2 months. Last one was on March 25th. Last one. So we got another one, new one within 2 months here. Jade is always champion. I mean, here's the thing: is a lot of people have a lot to say about Jade Cargill. There's people that are not impressed by her, people that don't like her. You know,
to be fair, her daughter's name is Jade. That's why I think she's saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So, but Jade Cargill, she is caught in a lot of flack from people since coming into WWE, saying that she don't know what she's doing. She looks messy in the ring, yada, yada, yada. Number one, you need to remember, people, that in AEW, she was put in the position to go in and squash every opponent up until her last match. In her last match, she finally had a lengthy match, and she lost her championship, and then off to WWE she went. And then when she came to WWE, she got that big introduction to the point where I think WWE hurt themselves by not just having her go to NXT and work a little bit before making that big introduction. You introduced her to the main roster immediately. So you put her in the position of what the women did during the Attitude Era, and that was learn on the fly. But then we get to WrestleMania and has a classic women's title match with Rhea Ripley. I think that was and tell me whether this is fair to say or not, Cam. You know, you could be honest with me. Do you think that was Jade Cargill's coming out party at WrestleMania?
I don't know. I don't want to say coming out party, but it was definitely her best match.
I meant performance-wise.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay.
I should have added that at first. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I should have worded it better.
I guess you could say that. I'm not the biggest Jade fan. You know this already.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate the fact that I think going into that match, she knows the talent that Rhea Ripley is. So I think she had it in her mind, or knew in her mind, that she had to step her game up.
Yes.
And she did just that. So if this, like I said, again, I have no quarrels with this rematch. I think it would have made more sense at Backlash. That's my only small gripe with it. If this match is if this match is anything like what it was at Mania, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
If this match is anything like it was at WrestleMania, then I understand why they saved it for this night, because it's the first PLE in Paris.
Yeah.
It's their first time, I believe, in Paris in a long time, if ever. So I can understand that if we get what we've seen at WrestleMania, I can understand why they saved it for this. I expect WrestleMania type match at this point. You know, and if we get that, if we get another really good Jade Cargill showing, then I think the negativity for her needs to go out the window a little bit as far as performance-wise, because you could see her stepping her game up. You know, like she knows to step her game up with Rhea Ripley. So, but I get why people aren't fans of her. I get it. I mean, I've always been a Jade Cargill fan. I was a fan of her the minute she walked in and tagged with Shaquille O'Neal on that episode of Dynamite against Cody and Amazing Red, or was it her name? Amazing Red Velvet. Yeah. You know, so, you know, I was a fan of her then. So, you know, when she had that match with Rhea at WrestleMania, I was like, fuck yes. Like this, you know, some people still had some negative stuff to say about her after WrestleMania, and I don't see how you can say anything about that performance negatively.
I don't see how, but
they found
at that point you're just refusing to see.
Yeah. Refusing to open your mind to the fact. Yeah. So another match that's going to be taking place exclusively on ESPN, but as well as on the app, is the Undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody and Gunther. So Cody Rhodes, Gunther, what do you got on this one, and who do you got?
It's Cody Rhodes. Again, that's a no-brainer. I don't even have to think about that. I really don't. I think this will be a really good match. Again, this is another match that's probably long overdue. They had the teaser I think 2 Royal Rumbles ago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
With them being the final 2 in the match, Cody was still on that whole I've got to finish the story and things like that. That was when we got a taste of this. And a lot of us started to wonder. The wheels started to turn. Like, okay, in a regular singles setting between these two, they could probably produce magic. So this is long overdue. Honestly, it is. I don't mind it. I really don't. I just don't see Gunther walking out as champion. I don't. And I think maybe that's a little damaging. Maybe that's a little damaging to Gunther because we know. I mean, the rule really here is Gunther just doesn't lose. He just doesn't take L's. So maybe they end this match in a DQ and it protects Gunther because I just cannot see in a capacity where it would be like the Twilight Zone to see Gunther take a crossroads and lose cleanly and have him get pinned to the mat once. I just can't see it happening. That would just be too weird. So I think Cody retains, but he retains via DQ. That's the only way I see this happening because Gunther losing cleanly just doesn't make sense to me. So
Randy shows up in RKO's Cody.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
because I think we get Cody and Randy at SummerSlam. Part of me
yeah.
feels that.
I think that's the best night 1 match, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we normally see that at SummerSlam. As we normally see that 1 or 2 matches that we've seen at WrestleMania happen at SummerSlam as well. We normally see that from time to time, and I think we get Cody Randy at SummerSlam again,
or Cody Punk.
Yeah, because they had that
There's
little
rumors
interaction.
that Punk is going to SmackDown. So
yeah. I mean, we've seen that Cody and Punk interaction right after WrestleMania. So who knows? I'm for either way. If it's Cody Randy, if it's Cody Punk, I mean, shit. I wouldn't mind Gunther and Randy at SummerSlam. Randy maybe puts his career on the line. You know, we do some storyline about maybe his back injury starting to get to him, and that's why he's kind of been, you know, out of the picture a little bit. And Gunther, you know, gets put in that position as the, you know, facing the Legend Killer against the Career Killer. That match that we could have possibly seen at WrestleMania because of Ray being out, you know. So who knows? We'll have to see. But I see Cody still walking out as champion, regardless of how anything happens. I see Cody walking out as champion. Last match to cover: Tribal Combat World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Jacob Fatu. The winner becomes the head of the table, the World Heavyweight Champion, and the loser falls in line and acknowledges the Tribal Chief. Cam, Roman, Jacob, World Title, Tribal Combat. Who do you got?
Yeah, this is Roman's match, honestly, and it's gonna go the way of Roman. Roman's not losing that championship. I would say for the duration of 2026. I don't think he loses that title until next year. I'm gonna just keep it honest right now. Do I think he goes on a run like he had with the WWE Championship? No. That's a long time. If we do, we need to have a long conversation with WWE about what we're doing because that's craziness.
Yeah,
I don't think he goes on a run that long, but it's going to be a little while. It's definitely going to be a little while. And then like I said, Jacob falls in line. That's another no brainer here. We kind of just figured it the second he showed up and came face to face with Roman the first time and in lost after Backlash, which was like, okay, well, eventually he's going to fall in line. And again, we're getting this new rendition or this newer version of the bloodline with newer members or whatnot have you. So yeah, I definitely think Jacob falls in line and Roman retains here.
I feel the same way. Roman wins. Jacob falls in line. He's part of the bloodline, and we're off to the races with the new bloodline, and that's that. Now, as far as the future, and not trying to do the whole fantasy booking thing, but I'm with you on Roman being champion till at least the beginning of 2027. I still feel like we get Cody and Roman 3 at WrestleMania. I do. I still feel like we will get Cody and Roman 3 at WrestleMania because there is that rubber match that needs to happen. Roman won at WrestleMania 39. Cody finished the story at WrestleMania 40. And then remember the interaction when they first tagged up almost 2 years ago. And Roman said, "You're keeping my championship warm for me." Now that kind of got away from us a little bit, but now we're in that realm of Roman held that WWE championship, which was his belt that Cody is currently holding. Roman is holding the belt that we thought Cody was going to first hold, because when they first introduced the world title, Cody was in that tournament. And everybody thought, okay, Cody didn't win at WrestleMania. This is the belt he's going to win. And then he ultimately didn't make it to the finals. It was AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins ends up winning the world title. And then we get Cody going to WrestleMania and winning the WWE Championship, thus tying the series at 1-1. I still think we get Cody Roman at WrestleMania, maybe in Saudi, 43. And this time it's Cody challenging Roman for that world title. Because it seems like we're in that realm of like, hey, I held this one. Now I want to hold this one. You know what I mean? Like Roman held the belt that Cody's holding for a long time. And now he's holding the belt that came in while Roman was on his long run. And now I think Cody at some point, you know, who was expected to win the world title originally, that was everybody's thought. Now he'll get an opportunity to possibly hold that and come back to Raw. Because at some point we have to have Cody be on Raw on Netflix. That's got to happen, I think.
Yeah.
Because if CM Punk, like you said earlier, is expected to go over to SmackDown, I don't see Cody and CM Punk being on the same show for a long time. Short period of time, maybe, but I see them being on opposite shows. And if it's time for CM Punk to go to SmackDown, then I think it's time for Cody to come over to Monday Night Raw, thus setting up Roman and Cody for WrestleMania. It's just a thought. Again, I don't want to do the long-term booking thing because I think I've grown away from that in the past year. I think I've gotten pretty good at growing away from that, and I don't want to fall back into that slip, you know. So that's it. Again, Clash in Paris Sunday. This Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, start time 11 a.m. out in the West Coast. Cam, last segment real quick. And on this day, and we got a pretty good one. On this day, back in 2019, on May 25th, 2019, we got introduced to the very first AEW pay-per-view, AEW Double or Nothing 1. Main event was Kenny Omega against Chris Jericho, and Jon Moxley showed up to spoil the party, I guess. Attacked both of them, and that's how they went off the air. But a great show out in Vegas, and record time selling out within 90 seconds. That show sold out.
Jeez.
So Double or Nothing first show. So that's the on this day. Cam, if you have any thoughts on the very first Double or Nothing?
Like I said, it was something that the wrestling world hasn't seen in quite some time, with just another company, another major wrestling promotion. Many of us probably didn't think we were going to see another major wrestling promotion going up against WWE and things like that. So just a very another important time and milestone and just mark in professional wrestling was really the day that AEW, I guess, was kind of born, really. So yeah, it's a very important time, honestly. And here we are now, and we're 6 or 7 years into AEW now. So yeah, that's what kind of started it all.
Yeah, Double or Nothing, 7th anniversary last night. Great show. I mean, they've come a long way in these past 7 years. A lot has shifted in AEW in the past 7 years. Some good, some bad, some enjoyable, some not so enjoyable stuff. But that's in every wrestling organization. And AEW coming off a Double or Nothing last night, super hot. Hopefully Wednesday night they continue picking up. Watch Tony Khan's press conference after the show last night, and he mentioned that Kevin Knight will be explaining things on Wednesday night. So
I can't wait for that.
We'll be talking about that on the Boom on Wednesday night. I can't wait either. I can't either. I
can't wait.
I really hope I am home from work on time to watch oh my gosh, Dynamite. But if I'm not, I have a plan. So I can still listen and pay attention to what's going on. I have a plan. So yeah.
Interesting.
So I am going to have full reaction on Wednesday night with you guys on the boom. With that being said, Cam, let's get the hell out of here. We're a little overdue, and we can thank Clash in Paris for that. But Cam, your socials are on the bottom. Make sure you're going to follow Cam on social media everywhere, especially Cam's Wrestling Corner, where he gives you his thoughts and reactions on everything going on in the professional wrestling world. I'm not just telling you this because this man is digitally sitting next to me. Go check it out. Hit that follow button after we get off air here tonight. Cam, what do you got going on? What do you want to let the people know?
Yeah, like I said, keep with me on Cam's Wrestling Corner. That is where I'm the most active on there. Posting my reactions and predictions, things like that. Definitely keep with me every single Monday night with me and Metalcore Mike every single Monday night on the table spot, reacting and reviewing Monday Night Raw. And of course, on Wednesday night, and this is the first time in probably months that I'm actually very, very excited to see Dynamite this coming Wednesday. The fallout from probably the best pay-per-view of the year. I'm just saying now, Double or Nothing. Can't wait for that. With of course me and Metalcore Mike, and the addition of Phil Khan, with another episode of The Boom reviewing the fallout from Double or Nothing with Dynamite on Wednesday. So please join us. That's going to be a massive show. I hope they produce a banger for Wednesday night. I've got goosebumps just even thinking about it. I'm serious. So yeah, that's going to be a fun show. And like I said, I love and appreciate you guys come by and checking out the stream tonight.
So I just currently, at this moment, downloaded the HBO Max app. I'm going to be logging in. And if I'm still stuck at work when Dynamite first starts, I'm going to be throwing the show on while I'm in my truck, and I will be listening to it while finishing my job.
Nice.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. I will be knowing what happens on Dynamite from start to finish on Wednesday, because I am super excited after what they gave us. But make sure you head over to Cam's social medias and hit that follow button and join us this Wednesday on the boom after AEW Dynamite. You can follow me on social media at MetalMike714 all across the board, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube. That's where you can find me. Don't do much of my personal, but all my thoughts on wrestling is here on the network. As far as football, the Huddle Hub Podcast tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub Podcast, youtube.com/@the-huddle-pod. The UFL playoffs are heating up. We got 3 teams that have clinched a playoff spot. 2 teams remain in the race for that final spot. Week 10 kicks off this weekend. So exciting time in the UFL. I'll be talking about that tomorrow, recapping the rest of week 9 from Sunday, and previewing week 10 for this weekend. Also, I'm going to be doing a new segment. I'm going to try a new segment out tomorrow called Player Spotlight, because not a lot of news has come out the past couple of days. I don't have much to really talk about unless something comes out tomorrow. Don't have much to talk about in the news. So with that being said, I'm trying a new segment called Player Spotlight, and my first player that I'm going to be doing is none other than quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. So, come join me for that tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/the Huddle Podcast, youtube.com/@the-Huddle-Pod. You can also join us on TikTok and on X at the Huddle Hub Pod. So with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Appreciate everybody joining us. Be good to each other, be kind to each other, take care of each other, be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. Until Wednesday night for the boom, we'll see you guys then. Till then, deuces.